Ghost of Yotei is a difficult game for me to review. I had a lot of fun with it. On a structural and mechanical level, everything works splendidly. The combat is where it shines the most. I really enjoyed playing as Atsu and seeing how her quest for revenge pans out. The world is gorgeous and runs silky smooth on the PlayStation 5, and yet something about it is off, a pesky, annoying feeling that lingers through much of its story and gameplay systems. And I think the main problem I have with the game is that the developers are very risk-averse in their design philosophy, which is a shame because I feel like this game could have been so much more than it is. Their conservative approach to game design is not inherently bad. It's a very good open world game, but if you've played any open world game in the past decade, you've probably played a game like this. Though thankfully it is incredibly polished, has a pleasant user interface, and is entirely without microtransactions, unlike Ubisoft games who pioneered this sort of checklist-style open world genre back in the early 2010s. In this video, I'm going to examine the places where Ghost of Yotei is risk-averse, and argue why I think they should have been more daring and creative in certain areas. I'll be spoiling the whole game, and I'll be a bit mean, but do know that I do rank this game as a solid B, which seems to be the consensus anyway. But first, what do I mean by risk-averse? In economics and finance, risk aversion is a tendency of people to prefer outcomes with low uncertainty to those outcomes with high uncertainty, even if the average outcome of the latter is equal to or higher in monetary value than the more certain outcome. In the context of Ghost of Yotei, I just mean that the developers consistently play it safe by delivering on a polished, if bland game instead of taking a risk to make something more, making it feel like slightly elevated fast food than a proper meal, a samurai burger if you will. Very clean and pristine, but lacking any real spice or flavor of its own. Functional, a good time, but not an experience I'll think too much about in the future. There are many things I like about Ghost of Yotei, particularly its beginning. The cinematics throughout the game are gorgeous, and Erika Ishii is delightfully intense with how she portrays Atsu and her insatiable lust for revenge. A common writing advice that gets thrown around is to start your story near the end, and that's exactly what the writers did. Right from the start, we know we're hunting the Yotei 6 because the game makes us write down each of their names individually using the PlayStation 5 trackpad, and right from the start, Atsu is about to kill the first one on her list, the snake. It's intense and cinematic and does a great job of telling the player what to expect from here on outwards, and the game mostly delivers on these promises. I also really enjoy the combat. At first I thought I disliked the rock, paper, scissors style of fighting the game encourages you to do with the whole weapon swapping system. You know, the system that makes dual katanas superior against spears and the adachi the best weapon to use against fruits, etc, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I found the game wasn't too punishing if you use a non-optimized weapon against an enemy, as long as you are parrying and dodging. On higher difficulties, the game encourages the player to use every tool they have, which makes sense because Atsu is a self-trained jack-of-all-trades mercenary. She isn't a stoic, singularly focused samurai. She fights quick and dirty, and I found the combat consistently the best thing about the whole experience.